Most of the mods that grabbed my attention this week have already made it to the hot files, and those that haven't definitely should. Welcome to episode 15 of the Fallout 4 Mod Vault. As soon as I saw the mod called Crossbows of the Commonwealth appear on Nexus, I knew this was going to be a mod I had to check out, and I really wanted it to be a good mod. I really wanted it to have been implemented well, and it has been. This mod, at the time of making this video, has not reached the hot files, but honestly, I really do think it should. It's not just that the weapon looks great and works fine in fights. I mean, it really is very easy to use both in first and third person, and in many ways feels no different to fighting with a weapon. But more than that, there is something very appropriate to crossbows in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. I suggest it's probably easier to create bolts for weapons like this than it is to create rounds for most rifles and handguns. The weapon does pretty good damage, but of course it does have a reasonably slow fire rate when compared to a pistol or a rifle. But you can actually mod the weapon to be either faster or do more damage in a variety of ways. In fact, I'm kind of impressed with the number of options there are to modify the crossbow. You can change things like the bow to be an armor piercing bow, a compound bow. You can change the stock to be a commando stock or a commando light frame. You can change the sights. You can use standard sights, glow sights, reflex sights, and even sniper scopes. And there are muzzles that allow you to do extra damage when bashing. And believe it or not, there's even an option to change it to fire flaming arrows. And whilst I actually used the console to get the weapon for myself, I did notice while I was summoning raiders for target practice, one of them actually appeared with the crossbow in hand, so you will actually find enemies actually wielding this weapon against you. This is a superb idea, and it is really well done. I will be very surprised if it doesn't make it to the hot file section of Nexus, because in my opinion it really does deserve it. Now, there is one mod that did make it to the hot files and absolutely deserved its spot there, and that is a mod called The Rebel, which is a mod that gives you an outfit that frankly may be my favourite outfit for Fallout 4 so far, both in the vanilla and the modded ones. It has a very tough, rugged and utilitarian look to it. In fact, it has a massive Stalker-esque vibe for me. People who've played the Stalker series, you probably know what I mean. There's something about this outfit that says I'm about to head off into the zone. The outfit comes as 5 pieces. There is the main outfit, which has reasonably good stats actually, especially when fully upgraded. The hoodie, gloves, a gas mask and a backpack that does increase your carry weight by 100. All of these pieces can be upgraded. The basic upgrade from insulated lining all the way to shielded lining. There is no option for other optional mods, but you can upgrade the armor value to be fairly respectable. And there's not a lot else to say about this mod. It is a great looking outfit and a great addition to the game. And so from 2 mods that add something very appropriate to the game to something that may be a little inappropriate, and that is a sword known as the Regent, which is a classic kind of knight's sword looking affair. I say it's inappropriate, however, you could argue that in a game where you can run around as Grognak the Barbarian wielding a great big axe, there's not a lot that could be considered inappropriate. It is in all ways a standard melee weapon. You hit things with it until they stop moving, and you can even block blows that are incoming. I love the plain functional look to the model. It does look nice, but it looks like a functional sword. I'm not an expert, but it does look like it would be very effective at dispatching enemies. And for some odd reason now, I have this urge to run around the Commonwealth dressed as a knight, singing silly songs about Camelot.
No, on second thoughts, let's not go to Camelot. It is a silly place.
Right.
If you enjoy the settlement building part of Fallout 4 and you are interested in modding, you are probably already aware of the many mods created by DD Productions. He has made many settlement mods. You are probably also aware of the fact that there is a limit to how much you can build in a settlement, and may, like me, have come across a problem that you cannot create everything you need to create. The castle was a great example for me. I found that I needed to have well over 200 defense minimum to try and reduce the number of attacks. I'm playing on survival difficulty. I don't know if it changes with difficulty. However, I ended up having to dismantle things like chairs and pictures and all creature comforts just to get that defense. It was very annoying, and in the end I used console commands to increase the settlement size. Many of you have probably done the same thing. Well, if so, DD Productions now has a mod you are almost certainly going to want to install. It is a mod that, as you can see, sets the size limit for your settlements to be pretty much unlimited. You get to decide how many items you have. It is an ESP mod. It does not require any batch files. It does not require you to open the console. You just install it, and every single mod will now allow you to build an unlimited number of containers, beds, chairs, or even defences in any of the settlements. This mod is pretty much, well, it's a must-have mod for me, and I'm guessing for an awful lot of settlement builders if you judge the status of the file by its endorsements already. However, a word of caution. I am not completely sure what the effects are of overloading the settlements this way. It may just affect performance, it may affect stability. I am not totally sure, and neither is anyone else. You should do this at your own risk. And whilst it does allow you to have as many items as you want, you might want to exercise some caution. I would also point out that to some this would be considered a cheat, because of course you can just keep creating defences until you run out of materials, and for most scavengers that may take some time. However, for me, I consider this less of a cheat and just more of a convenience mod. It was unbelievably annoying to have to remove any and all creature comforts just to achieve the sort of defense I felt I needed to discourage attacks.
What a different world it'd be.
And finally, another settlement mod that is such a simple idea and yet such a great idea. And the mod is called Where Did I Put That? And it allows you to add labels to things, to walls and to containers. You go along under wall decorations, and under signs you will find a bunch of labels that they say a variety of things. Bandanas, for example, or perhaps you want to just label armour. I've got an armour chest, and you can put the labels either above the chest or even on the chest. Although I did notice once I'd put it on the chest I had some difficulty in removing the label. And really, there's not a lot else to say. It really is that simple. It's just one of those ideas that you look at and you think, my God, that's genius. That really is absolutely superb. And it really does actually look perfectly reasonable as well. I even love the fact that they're stuck on with duct tape. And that is all we have time for this week. Of course, I will be ending with more screenshots that you guys have been posting. They continue to arrive and they continue to amaze me. You guys do an excellent job of making this game look utterly superb. If you're interested in adding screenshots to be used in my videos, I will leave a link down below. That is a video that will show you exactly how you can do that. And let me thank you in advance for doing so. I will of course be back next week with more great mods to share with you and would love it if you could join me for that video. So until then, remember as always, have fun. If you're curious as to whether I've covered a mod in one of my videos, feel free to go along to my website gophersvids.com and check the search functionality out. Just type the name of the mod you're interested in, open up the settings and filter by mods only. Click for search and you will see whether or not I've covered that mod. Click on the mod and it will also show you any of the videos this mod appears in.